Dearest listeners, book babes and book bros, welcome to Book Babble. We're Rachel and Tanya, and we're the WitLitWomen, your hosts for the day. Today we have Ari Wright. She's the author of the MVP series as well as the Star-Crossed Cities series. And she is here for our AMA Rapid Fire Hot Seat. Ari, do you want to do a quick introduction?
Yeah, hi. It's so good to be here. I'm Ari. So I have the two different series out right now and a third one coming out this week. So I'm a little bit crazy. Yeah, I have but I just absolutely love romance podcasts like this is so cool. So I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you here today. So we can go ahead and get the 5 minutes on the clock and start your AMA session. Are you ready to babble?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Let's get it started. So first, can you tell me a secret about the For Always book that you wrote that no one else knows? Because that I'm obsessed with that book.
A secret. Okay. Oh boy. I think probably the biggest secret is that I am absolutely shocked every time the plot twist actually surprises somebody. Every time that happens, people are like, "Oh, I didn't see that coming." I was like, "You didn't?"
Was blown away by that book. I think I obsessed over it for like 2 or 3 weeks at least, and I was like, Rachel, I can't get over this, and I still think about it to this day.
It's one of my favorites that I've ever done, so that makes me very happy.
Yes. Oh.
So, what inspired you to write this story, or both of your stories?
The For Always and Forever specifically. So For Always was inspired by the book has some darker themes. And I really wanted to highlight just how both ubiquitous, but also kind of the sinister nature of those sorts of things where it's so hidden, and we feel the need to hide it and how that can affect our day-to-day lives as women and survivors. So that was my primary motivation when I started. And honestly, the character of Ella just like came to me. And once she came to me, it was like, okay, well, that's happening. Like we're writing that story because I love her so much. So once I had Ella, and then the same thing sort of happened with Juliet. As soon as I had Juliet, it was just game over. I was like, okay, well, we have to write her story now too. So really I'm always really inspired by my characters. That's where I usually start.
I love that. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how obsessed I am with that Star-Crossed City series. Like, it's ridiculous. So thank you for
Yeah.
bring them to life.
Oh, good. Well, no, they wouldn't leave me alone. So
Well, kind of staying on that same, the same series, are there any Easter eggs in Forever or For Always that you've put in there?
I have for sure. I'd say if you're asking about Easter eggs for things no one knows except my team, I mean, AKA like three people, I'd say the best place to find an Easter egg would be the very, very end of the For Always epilogue when Darcy comes on page. So that's Ella's little sister. She comes on page and says some things, and specifically, she has a crush on Graham, and that might be a hint for some things that are coming later on.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a reread now just to make sure I remember exactly what was said.
That's
Yeah, she's a
awesome.
cutie. I love Darcy, so that's probably one of my big, and nobody knows, but that's probably one of my least known secrets about the series.
I'm gonna grab your book like right after this.
Well, one of the
It's on my
questions a lot
shelf.
of people, one of the questions a lot of people are asking is, what made you decide to be an indie author versus using a publishing company?
So, the really short, kind of it's not depressing, but like the real answer to that is that everybody I ever knew in my entire life growing up, as I started writing when I was 12, every single person was like, "Oh, that'll never happen. No, like you'll never get it. Like people don't get agents. Like it's impossible. You can't get a book deal. You can't get a publisher. Like you just can't. It's like not gonna happen." So I wrote these books forever, and then when I wrote For Always, my very best friend Kelly, and I said to her, I was like, can you please, like, I'm just gaslighting myself, right? Like, can you just read this and tell me that it's crap so that I can stop, like thinking I'm ever going to do anything with this? And she read it and she called me at 2 o'clock in the morning screaming. during the plot twist. And then the next morning she called me and she was so dead serious. She was like, we are no longer friends if you don't publish this. So she was like, I cannot. She's like, we're so she convinced me to go ahead and just give it a shot. And that's how we got For Always.
Bless her.
Very much.
Like
She's the
I would,
best. We love Kelly.
we love her. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna try to fit this last one in.
Okay.
What scene was the most painful for you to cut out because it just simply did not work?
Oh gosh. Actually, there's a deleted scene. So there's a deleted scene in For Always that you can get when you sign up for my newsletter. And I hated deleting it so much because it was just like a really cute, sweet scene between Ella and Grayson, but it just wasn't necessary and it was like a lot of words. So I ended up cutting it and it hurt.
Oh no.
It's an epic sound. I actually love it.
It
Yeah.
makes me smile every time.
I love it. It's like, whoa, like Hunger Games. Like I love that. It was like so great. Okay.
It is a little jarring, but it's always fun. I love
I love
watching
it.
everyone's reactions to it.
I just want to say, when I'm reading For Always and Forever, because I haven't read your other series yet, and I've just recently discovered where to find those, so I'm super excited to read those. But for Forever and For Always, those are both so epic to me. Like reading it was so, I just immersed myself so much, I didn't want to come out of those books. So
Thank
it was just
you.
awesome. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. No, it's just so funny because I wrote For Always, and For Always was kind of hard to write because of the timeline. It was just like I had to be very careful with the way that I wrote it. And then Forever, like I wrote that book in 6 weeks. It like flew out of my brain.
What?
I couldn't stop. So I had already given For Always to Kelly and she had read it, and then I gave her Forever as soon as it was finished, and she is still to this day, I just have to say, anybody who loves Graham, I'm sorry, you don't love him as much as Kelly. Kelly's the original Graham stan. So like she was like, I would die for this man. Like, but daddy, I love him. So, so that's how Graham got his own book because he wasn't really even supposed to have one. But
What a
Graham.
tragedy. I'm so glad she convinced you.
It seriously did. It was all Kelly's fault. TLDR. This is all Kelly's fault. It's her fault. Blame her. It's not my fault.
Let me send her like some cookies or something as a thank you.
We can blame Kelly for everything. It's fine.
Oh, I think when I was reading that book, I actually met someone on Instagram because I was like blowing up my stories about it. So we started buddy reading and we both were just like yapping so hard in our DMs and going nuts over it. Like you really did create such a masterpiece with For Always.
You. I'm so
Um,
glad to hear that. Yay.
and I know you have other series. I apologize for not focusing on them as much, but like I
Okay.
am obsessed.
It's okay. I'm actually going to on a very special Starcross City scouting trip in New York City in a few weeks. So I'll be
Really?
doing some vlogs and I'll be sharing those. So that'll be super exciting because I have to go check out a few locations for a few things and also, like research some
Yeah.
restaurants and bars and stuff.
Hey, I mean that's perfect. I love a well-researched book. So
I really, I get this compliment and I take it very seriously. Like a lot of people tell me, they're like, I've lived in New York City. You must have lived there. Like, and I'm like, no, I just really study subway maps.
you do a great job with it though, because it really feels like you are in New York City when you're reading the books.
I'm so glad. And I love New York City and I do go for research on do that. I was there in not this last autumn, but the one before that. Yeah, so I get to go back now and I'm gonna take my babies and get some pictures and go check out some new places. So maybe I'll post some spoilers, like little Easter eggs and some hints on some things in the next few weeks.
I will be all over it. So, speaking of projects, and things you're doing in the next couple of weeks, can you tell us a little bit more about the new series that you're putting out?
Yes. So I am, as anyone who's read the MVP series knows, I am an Orlando girly. So I love it here. And obviously Orlando is Disney. So we have all of the Disney stuff. And I grew up with it and I just absolutely love fairy tales. Both like, the Disney adaptations, but also the darker original stories. I just find them really intriguing. So I had this idea to do like Omegaverse fairy tale adaptations, but really they're more reimaginings than retellings because obviously I have 3 or 4 men in each book. So it's very different than like the one-on-one fairy tale vibes. But I love taking stuff like that and I love modernizing. So I did it in modern day, which I thought which was so fun to do. Like just to like what would a text conversation between these people look like, or whatever. So I definitely enjoy doing that. And then I also like spinning certain parts of the story. So if you read I'm calling it the Royalverse, Ari Wright's Royalverse. So if you decide to read the first book, which is Once Upon a Pack, you'll find that it is similar to the original fairy tale, just a little bit, but there's a lot of twists and surprises. So it's very different, but also you'll find a lot of familiar imagery and themes, which is what I wanted.
Well, I will be the first to grab that because I mean, one, I love your writing, but
Oh, thank you.
two, reimaginings and retellings are just, they're chef's kiss.
So
The
good,
new
right?
modern take on old stories is one of my favorite things to read.
I love it too. I think it's so amazing. So I'm really into that. And I wanted to do it, but with Why Choose and make it modern and not. It is a megaverse. So, like, there's a debate as to whether or not a megaverse in and of itself is paranormal, but they're not. There are no paranormal or magical elements. It's very much the real world. It's just like my MVP series, only royal and lots of glitz and, all the royal glamour, which was really fun. A little bit of
Can't wait.
Bridgerton sprinkled in there.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be amazing. Bridgerton is like such a phenomenal series, and then when you add little extra details like you are with your Royalverse, it's gonna be
It
phenomenal. I
was
can't wait.
so it was so fun to write like the settings and the clothes and like it's a very rich environment, so it was really interesting to like get the textures and the colors and all of that was really cool, like the tactile elements. It just there's so much more to it than like regular life. So
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm even more excited than what I was before. So I can't wait. Well, we are nearing the last few minutes of the session. Do you have anything that you would like to talk about? Anything that you would like to tell your viewers and listeners?
well, I just told you guys about the Royalverse, so that's exciting. I am definitely looking forward to, I guess the biggest thing I'd want to tell them is that honestly, I'm here because of them and I'm here for them. So the choices that I make in the books that I put out, I really enjoy writing them. It gives me a lot of joy. But that joy comes from knowing that people are going to be happy when they read my books. So I want everyone to know that if they ever have a request or if there's any, I won't stop writing the books as long as people keep enjoying them. And I'm having the time of my life. So gratitude really is the main thing. I just wouldn't be here. I still can't believe I'm here. I wouldn't be here if not for Kelly. And also just them and readers reading my books and loving my books because that's really what it's all about for me. So I really enjoy that.
Well, I'll just keep sliding into your DMs with new requests all the time.
Please. Yeah, because I love that. I love it. No, I do. I like knowing what people love to read because that's why I'm doing this. So for me, it's really like I know a lot of authors don't love that, but I actually really love knowing that and kind of try to keep my finger on that pulse because I'm having fun writing them, but I also do it so that people can have fun reading them. So that's really important to me.
That's amazing. I think you're doing a wonderful job and it's paying off, honestly.
Thank you so much. It means so much to me. I'm having the best time. So okay, let's keep it rolling. I'm just excited that people are excited.
Awesome. All right, Rachel, anything that you want to say, any last words before we wrap up?
No, thanks for rolling with our guest star that kept popping in. But it's I'm just like, so excited about reading the next pieces of this. So, yeah, everything about what you just talked about, and it's just exciting. And yeah, I love your work, so don't stop.
Thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. I've just had the best time being here.
Well, I'm sure that we will request you to, your presence again at some point in the future, especially if you continue to put out books. So, I hope that we see you again soon, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.